Good afternoon, and what a great day to get outside, enjoy this sunny, cool weather, but warming up every day. Here's a live look over Horsetooth Reservoir this Saturday afternoon as we enjoy a warm-up across the Front Range. We'll have a closer look at your forecast very soon. We know Colorado has a problem with some of its beloved outdoor spaces getting used so much it causes damage. Now, one of the most popular dog parks on the Front Range, a park that sees more than 1 million people a year, could soon see some changes. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel is live at the Westminster Hills open space. The city is talking about requiring new leash rules at that park. Evan?
That's right, Jenny. This park sees over 100,000 visitors every month and is the only place in this area with this much room to roam off leash. But the city is considering some major changes here, changes not everyone is on board with. On a sunny Saturday morning, it is perhaps the happiest place on the Front Range, with hundreds of dogs living their best life at the Westminster Hills open space.
I really don't know if she likes it here more or if I do.
It's a place Kristen Cobb comes every day.
Ready, girlie? Come on.
And there's one big reason why.
It's incredibly special because it's a huge off-leash park.
But that freedom to roam could soon be about to change.
I love my dogs, but I also recognize that I have a responsibility to recreate appropriately for the area.
Joe Reale and Westminster Open Space hosting an open house today with a controversial proposal.
But we are recommending that we return the majority of that area to an on-leash opportunity, which is consistent with our open space.
Reale says the amount of off-leash dogs is having a negative impact on the trails, wildlife, and ecosystem.
But we have over 1 million visits to that small area every year. And that level of visitation has impacts on the land.
Reale is quick to say no final decision has been made.
Are there possibly other solutions? I am open to hearing them, absolutely.
Good girl.
But dog owners like Kristen say it feels like a done deal.
I'm afraid that it might be too late at this point.
At the trailhead, people have been handing out flyers, hoping the city will pay more attention to its own survey, which showed an overwhelming majority of people in favor of keeping things the way they are.
Dogs are my favorite part about life, and this is where you see them at their happiest, and it would just be completely devastating to so many people and all of their dogs as well.
Now, if open space continues to move forward with this recommendation, the City Council is expected to take the matter up. That could happen as soon as this spring. Jenny?
Something we'll certainly follow. And Evan, we've covered this issue before, the idea of loving a space almost to death. Cherry Creek State Dog Park comes to mind. I know that's a big off-leash area. They've had some trouble with maintenance there, too.
Yeah, big time. That park also sees close to 1 million visitors every year. And over the past few years, CPW has actually had to close that park multiple times to do things like habitat restoration. One big difference, Jenny, this open space, this off-leash area, about 4 times the size of that off-leash area at Cherry Creek. So folks here are certainly hoping they can at least keep some of this area off-leash while still preserving this beautiful habitat.
Okay. Thank you, Evan, for your reporting. Let's take a live look outside now at the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels. Busy weekend in the mountains. We knew this. There's the X Games in Aspen, snow sculptures in Breck, plenty of other skiing and boarding and all kinds of events happening in the high country. So let's bring in now Lauren Robinson for a look at your forecast. It's so nice here in the Front Range. I don't know what it feels like up in the high country.
Well, the high country is beautiful as well. We're going to see sunny skies throughout the entire state this weekend. Of course, a little chillier up high, but it's going to be a beautiful weekend all across Colorado, and that is really going to gain those crowds as well. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at our current conditions where we're at 41 degrees right now at DIA. Most of the Front Range and Eastern Plains in the 40s. We're seeing some 50s to the southeast in Springfield. The high country teens, 20s, 30s. Again, a little chillier there, but that's to be expected up in the high country. And we're seeing those middle to upper 40s across the western slope. Now we're seeing warmer temperatures than what we saw this time yesterday. Our 24-hour temperature change map not as drastic as it was this afternoon, afternoon. But overall, we're a little warmer, and we're going to continue to get even warmer as we move through the start of next week. But let's take a look at our HD Doppler radar. We can see the system that already passed us moving its way over St. Louis into Chicago. We have another system across the Pacific Northwest. We're going to wait for that to possibly bring some slight changes into the high country midweek. Right now, it's not looking like it's going to be very strong as it pushes its way toward Colorado. In the meantime, the near future, what we're worried about right now is going to be nothing, because we have nothing happening over the state. Again, clear skies this afternoon. We're going to see those clear skies this evening as well. Our warm, sunny weekend will continue through the rest of the weekend tomorrow. We're also going to see even warmer temperatures through the middle of the week as we hit the 60s, but we do have another storm system expected by next weekend. So I'll have those details for you just ahead of my full 7-day forecast.
All right, Lauren, thank you. This morning, an avalanche buried 4 backcountry skiers up in Clear Creek County. Good news, everyone survived. Deputies say this happened around 10:30 in the morning in a bowl off Hager Mountain, the north side of I-70 off the Continental Divide, near Loveland Ski Area. Deputies say at least one person has a leg injury, but none of those 4 people were seriously hurt. The Alpine Rescue Team responded to help the victims. A man down in Colorado Springs in that area has died after police say an officer shot him. This happened around midnight in Fountain. We do not know much about what led up to the shooting. Police have only told us that Fountain police and El Paso County deputies ran into this man with a gun, and they tell us he refused to stop and officers fired at the man. He died at the hospital. No officers were hurt. Colorado Springs police are now taking over that investigation. There's a Mexican restaurant in Centennial that was hit after police say somebody was probably drunk and crashed into the building. Arapahoe County deputies say a 39-year-old man crashed into El Señor Soul Mexican Food on South University Boulevard around 2:30 this morning. That man went to the hospital. Deputies say he had open beer and liquor bottles in his car, and he's been cited for DUI. They say that crash fractured a gas line in the kitchen, which then caused a gas leak, and deputies say that building's going to need major repairs. Today marks International Holocaust Remembrance Day, 79 years now since Soviet forces liberated the concentration camp Auschwitz in southern Poland. That was January 27, 1945, just a few months before the war in Europe ended. The camp is where Nazis murdered more than 1.1 million people, mostly Jews. Just in that camp, about 6 million Jews were killed throughout the Holocaust. We chatted with DU professor Adam Rovner, who runs the university's Holocaust Awareness Institute this week. He says it's important for people to educate themselves on what happened during the Holocaust, as well as other horrific moments throughout history.
Whether it's the Rohingya in Myanmar, whether it's Cambodians under the Khmer Rouge, or in more recently in the Sudan. And in Rwanda, this goes on all over the world. So it's not just a story for Jews. It's not just a story for Americans or people in the West. It's a story for the entire world.
On Monday, CU Boulder will be hosting 2 public lectures for Remembrance Day. A primary road at Cherry Creek State Park is now back open. East Lakeview Road had closed after heavy rain washed out that road in 2 places last May. 6 inches of rain fell over 3 days back then, causing the Cherry Creek Reservoir to rise 10 feet, the largest single event increase in water level since the 60s. Cleaning that up was not cheap. It cost more than $600,000 to fix the damage. This is fun. Earlier this week, Todd Helton became the second Rockies player ever elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And today he got to have a little fun sharing all that with the crowd and the fans here in Colorado. Ariel Orsuto joining us now. It's like the day to really soak it in.
It is, you know, because he had the time with his family. Yeah. He had all that. He went to Cooperstown. He kind of saw all that. That's all so cool. But to be able to then be with your fans and your former players, that's all super cool. And it's been a few years since the Rockies have hosted their fan fest, where the players meet with the fans and sign autographs. But what better excuse than to celebrate Todd Helton and his career? Fans, of course, got the chance to soak in the magic today, celebrating him at 4:17 exactly to honor number 17 for his 17 years of service to the Rockies. The ceremony took place at McGregor Square, right outside of Coors Field. That was after the Fan Fest was hosted at the stadium all day, where they got to sign autographs with fans. Todd Helton has been humble about his experience so far, thinking he'd never received the call to the Hall.
Actually, I never thought it would come. I didn't think my phone was going to ring. You know, people, once I retired, people said, "We'll see you in the Hall of Fame." And, you know, I was nice and cordial with them, but in the back of my mind, I thought there's no way I could make the Hall of Fame, just because it's such an exclusive club. So to make it is it's very surreal.
I mentioned that he also went to Cooperstown. He got to kind of see all of that, right? Mm-hmm. There was one really, really, really cool artifact that he saw when he was there, and I'll tell you all about that. And we'll share that coming up in just a little bit.
We gotta wait. Okay, Ariel, thank you. Today was also a big day for the world of esports in Colorado. Local host in Lakewood hosted 16 teams from high schools and colleges across the area in a League of Legends tournament. Photojournalist Corky Scholl was there. He shows us firsthand just how competitive this gets.
Hi everybody, I'm excited to help kick this off here today. This is my first time kicking off a League of Legends tournament.
Crunchy Noodles will be on blue, WX Papega Dogs, you will be on red. Esports, just like sports, is extremely competitive.
I'm Riley Walker and I go to Ponderosa High School.
My name is Henry Nguyen. I'm with University of Colorado Boulder.
My name is Jenna Brewer. I am from the University of Colorado Springs.
You are cleared to begin.
Good.
Karma. Cancer flash.
Yeah, that Eclipse Shield just makes him unkillable.
Nice! Good. That is fight winning.
I play esports because it gives me an opportunity to do something I wouldn't normally be able to do in a competitive atmosphere.
I think maybe in high school, I had some pretty tough times that made it really hard for me to relax on a day-to-day basis. So every time after I got home from school, I played video games. And when I got good at them, competing made me really happy.
The opportunities that are created through esports are huge.
I have job opportunities at the companies I play the games for to work on their esports side. We have played with multiple colleges that want to offer a lot of our kids that eventually play for us scholarships.
You have so many people interested in watching it and there's so much money.
So it's kind of opened up some doors for me being able to play professionally here.
The overall growth of esports also spurs the growth of STEM education. It spurs the growth of increased attendance at the high school level.
Ooh, okay, SSE. Can we engage?
Yeah, there's some stereotype about like sweaty gamer guys. I don't think I'm a sweaty gamer guy, so it kind of just shows that anybody can be into esports from any walk of life, no matter where they come from.
Yeah, that was it was impressive to see.
Local hosts closed to the public today since they were hosting that tournament. Normally they're open every day for all ages and skill levels for gaming.